after so many days of teasing it, it is finally here. I'm so excited. This is the potential journal, and I'm calling it the daily meeting with your potential. So basically, when I first started out to make the original vision book that I made, I wanted it to have the concept of yin and yang. And over some time, I feel like that kind of got lost a little bit. And so I feel like we needed something to bring that back. So this is a very yin and yang combo. So if you're familiar with the potential planner, if you got this planner, this is all about taking a dream and making it very actionable. It's about goals and metrics and what you're building. If you want to build a creative career or any dream of any sort, how to actually chunk it down and make it very specific and very measurable. So I wanted something to encapsulate the yin and also something that could be a little bit more of an entry point if you don't want to do intense weekly planning, but you still want to be intentional. You still want to think about your day. You still want to visualize your day. Maybe you want to visualize your dream, but you don't want it to take so long, which this doesn't take that long, but I can understand why it might seem kind of intimidating. So that is why I made the potential journal. So this is just 5 minutes every morning. You've got daily exercises, and then every week you have different weekly exercises. And at the beginning, there are some kind of alignment exercises. So I'll get into it, but this is just all about the yin. It's about motivation and self-belief and getting aligned with what you ultimately want to do, to have motivation, to enjoy where you are, and to love who you're becoming. So this is about what you're building, and this is about who you're becoming. And this is a lot about results. What do you want to build? What results do you want? And this is about loving the process, because your life is the process. So I'm completely stoked about these. I think these are just such an unbeatable combo. If you're curious about size comparisons, they're very similar size. This is 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, I believe. The exact specifications are on the website. It's about 180 pages. I made it as many pages as I could without upping the price. So let's look on the inside a little bit. So it is the daily meeting with your potential. The first 10 pages are all just about the why. Where do these things come from? What is the point of certain questions? It goes in depth, which I'll go into in a little bit more. It has a couple exercises that will carry through, because when I was first in counseling, for example, she wanted me to outline my values. And I thought that was incredible, just to understand there's so many different values, but then it doesn't ever get translated to your daily life. Or a lot of people think of dreams they have, but it doesn't get translated to your daily life. And so something that I have said through creating both of these is that if there is a prompt at the beginning, it's not going to be just a set it and forget it, you do the exercise and you never think about it again. It's actually going to get carried through to every day. So we're going to clarify your value clusters. That's this exercise right here. You clarify your value clusters, and then we actually use it every day. It's not set it and forget it. And then we make a dream statement. This is a template you can use for one of the questions. And I'll get more into that blank in a little bit, but these two exercises are really powerful, because a lot of people, you might have heard the advice, you need to visualize your goal or your dream or write it down, always keep it in mind. But it's there's all this good advice, but where do you put it? And I just wanted it to all be in one place. A lot of this good visualization, mindset type advice. And then there's a concept that I've talked about a lot recently, which is plans are worthless, but planning is everything. And it's all about, even if you have some intentions for the day and you don't do any of them, it wasn't worthless, because you still aligned with what you wanted. It changed you internally. It aligned your priorities, and you can't do this for weeks and weeks and weeks and have none of it externalized in the reality. It just won't happen. Just naturally things will start to change, and that is the best part of it. And I want to just read a paragraph. This journal was born from weeks of experimentation. I started with nearly 20 questions and narrowed it down to 7, the 7 that actually had an impact on my days. On days I felt like doing nothing, those questions brought me back to purpose. On mornings I felt low, they helped me feel lit up. Without even doing anything but just asking the right questions, my emotional state completely changed. And when my emotional state changed, motivation came back. And when motivation came back, I started to feel like myself again. And when I felt like myself, I could dream authentically about what the future looked like. And when I dreamt about the future, I was excited to get going and create it. So this is just about the subtle mindset shifts that will inevitably lead to results. It's not about shaming yourself to get things done and willing yourself to bloom, but it's like you're a little seed, and it's about creating the conditions which make it inevitable. So even if you show up to this and for a full week you didn't do any of it, which that just won't happen, by the way, but if you were to do that, it's still changing something, and slowly it's percolating this motivation, and then your dreams start coming alive and the motivation starts naturally coming, and then you naturally want to get results. When you're loving the process and you're loving your life and you're feeling very joyful, then the results naturally come. So it's a very process and results. Loving the process and loving the current reality, and also going after more, which is what I feel like this pair does really well. So what this is just 7 simple questions. It just takes 5 minutes. It's backed by research. I tested this personally on myself and my friends. It's incredible. The results that happened, even in just my husband and I's relationship, in his emotional state, like he started working on creative projects. I started working on creative projects again. Like, I don't know if you've noticed a difference in how I've been showing up, but I just feel different. So let's get into it. So the first thing is a little icon to shade in a cup, which is just metaphorically, how full is my cup today? To check in on your capacity. What do you have the energy for? And that really informs, when you check in with yourself, it will inform the rest of it. So the next question kind of continues that cup metaphor, which instead of waking up and thinking of your life as like a half empty, it reframes it to half full and completely shifts your energy mindset. So it's not that unique of a question. It's just gratitude. Most journals have a gratitude question, and that's because it's research backed. Every time I do it, I feel like I'm in a movie. I go outside, I'm like, wow, look how great it is, because your reticular activating system primes you to look for things you've been thinking about. So it's that thing where when you start shopping for a red Toyota, you start seeing them everywhere. And the same thing applies when you are grateful, then you go outside and you're thinking, wow, this is amazing. So we look at how full is our cup, and then we use gratitude to shift our mindset from half empty to half full. So your life just got better and nothing even changed yet. Now, the next question is all about combating shame, which I feel like is the number one thing to make people give up on their dreams, to give up on themselves, to like create a depressive state. It's when they feel ashamed of themselves and they're beating themselves up. And our minds are just primed to look for danger in the world, for things that have gone wrong in order to keep us safe. But I want to combat it by asking, what am I proud of myself for? And it doesn't have to be stereotypical things. It could be, I spoke up when I felt like being quiet, or I got out of bed today and that was like really difficult for me today, or I started the YouTube channel. It could be big things. It doesn't have to be stereotypical things, but I think not enough of us acknowledge what we're proud of ourselves for, and that allows shame to creep in, and that allows us to want to just get stagnant because it doesn't feel encouraging. So acknowledging that we're proud of ourselves really acknowledges that little kid inside of us that needs like, hey, I need like a pat on the back. Like I've actually been doing a lot of things really well. The next question is, what's one thing I can do today that would light up my soul? And this is just acknowledging the part of us that we need joy and we need vibrancy in our life. And if our joy does not feel vibrant and lit up, then what is the point of it? I think sometimes we just get so focused on productivity. And so this encourages you to ask, like, what's one thing I can do? Maybe going on a bike ride or reading in the park. And then the final of these first 4 nourishing questions, I would say the first 4 questions are really about pouring into yourself. What does your soul need? What are you proud of yourself for? What are you grateful for? Like, this is the final of those 4 questions. And that is just, what do I need today? Do I need rest and reflection? I need to take a bubble bath. I need to do some reading. All these first 4 questions are just focused on getting that cup as full as possible for what is possible and realistic for today. So if you're having a day that you think I just do not have capacity, I recommend just stop at those first 4 questions. Just what do you need? Pour into yourself if you're having a really bad day. But if you're having more of an average day and you feel like you have more capacity, this question, how can I live my top 3 values today, is incredible. So there's exercises at the beginning for identifying what your top 3 values are, and those are really likely to change. I found that I thought I had 3 values identified, and then after journaling a couple days, then I tweaked it, and then I tweaked it a little bit more, and then I tweaked the wording, and it took several weeks to actually hone in on what actually feels right. So it's okay if you experiment with these, but this has been incredibly impactful. And living your values is not so much about adding tasks to your to-do list. It's about changing the way that you do the things that you were already going to do. So if fun is a value to you, you don't have to put in a fun task per se, unless you want to, but it's about, how can I take what I'm already doing? Like I've got work that I've got to do, and how can I make it more fun? Or I've got to go to the grocery store. How can I make that more fun? Or if connection is a value of mine, how can I take the things I'm already doing today, the things I have to get done, and add more connection to it? So the examples here are like, for fun, maybe I could do my work calls from the hot tub. If you got to do work calls, how can you make them more fun? Or connection, maybe during my commute, which I have to do anyways, I can make a phone call to someone who's important to me. Or if growth is important, maybe I read every night anyways, but maybe tonight I can start that book about attachment styles. That's kind of stretching me out of my comfort zone. So living from your values is about changing the way you do the things you're already doing. It's not about adding more to your plate, but about living aligned to your values. And then finally, we have a place to write your daily dream statement, which there is an exercise at the beginning of this planner, but you can customize this and use it however you want. So if you have a goal statement or an affirmation mission statement, a dream that you want to write down, an identity statement. I have some options that I talk about in the intro of this planner, but it's just something that you write down every day to make sure that you're aligned with it. It's any statement that's focused on who you're becoming and a dream future that you want to cultivate. The number one way to reach dreams and goals is to keep them top of mind, specifically by writing them down every day. And this is the easiest way to do that. So there is a template at the beginning, but you can also customize it however you want. And then finally, there's a checkbox to visualize the day going perfectly. So I like to just close my eyes, and based on all these things, the things that would make my soul come alive and what I need and tasks that I have to do for the day, close my eyes and I go morning from evening, and I visualize it going perfectly. I sequence it in order. And by doing this, it's much more likely to make it happen, even without putting any effort in. Just by closing your eyes and sequencing it and visualizing it, it's much more likely to happen. And I have found this happens so much. You realize by sequencing it, oh, well, this would have to go here and this would go here. No, that'd be a good spot to do this. And this is the very basics of daily planning. If you want to get into like advanced weekly planning, quarterly planning, and that type of thing, you can go here. But if you want to just dip your toe in, this is the very basics of daily planning and weekly planning. In the dream statement that I have in that template, you say, what's one thing I want to do to move forward on my dream today? One small action. So those are the daily questions. And then there are also, I'll just touch briefly on once a week, there are weekly questions, and I'll just go over those briefly. What changes have I noticed in myself lately? Recent failures I'm proud of myself for because it means I attempted something new. What complaints do I need to air about life lately? What direction have I been feeling nudged in lately? I'll know this week was successful if, and then rewriting the dream statement and visualizing a perfect day. I am so excited about this. This has been really a labor of love and meditation and like going inward and reflecting on what would be beneficial to me. And so I started with 20 questions, and I wanted not just the ones that sounded good, because I had a lot of questions in my mind that, oh, this sounds good, oh, this sounds deep, but I wanted ones that actually made a difference. And sometimes the ones that don't sound very deep, like, what do I need today? Like that actually makes a huge difference. And I found that I was actually taking the action. It was actually helping me. It wasn't overwhelming. It was so easy. So this is just the simplest thing you can do, I think, for inner transformation, for naturally building an environment of self-belief and motivation so that you naturally want to take action and get the results if you want to. But I just firmly believe that we need to be in love with where we currently are and so grateful for where we currently are, and also be reaching for more and wanting more. So I feel like this is just such a good combo for that. This is huge about the future and what we're building. And this is about loving who you are and who you're becoming and who you currently are. And it kind of naturally builds a bridge right into this. So I'm so excited about this. It's on the website right now. It's live. I'm so excited. You can go check that out. I'll have the website, AlexisKingsley.com, linked in the description. It ships to tons of countries. All the countries that I ship through, it's a company called Lulu's who I ship through. All the countries that it's available to ship to, it ships to them. So it ships internationally. So yes, check it out. I'm so excited about this. Let me know what you guys think of it. I will see you guys. I'm going on vacation, so some of these videos you're about to see are going to be pre-recorded, so I'm not going to actually really see your guys' feedback for a week or so, but I'm so excited. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.